So it has not been a good year for Carlton at all. Again, not only has it not been a good year for them as a whole entire football club, but unfortunately in the trade period last year, again, to kind of ensure that they were able to get Pick 3 and Jagger Smith, they of course traded away their future first round pick, and it of course landed in Hawthorn's lap. Again, Hawthorn were able to get Carlton's future first round pick, and they probably thought and were sitting there thinking at the time, it'll probably be about pick 12, pick 13, whatever. Again, it's going to be good to have, and at the end of the day, maybe we might be able to get a pretty nice player in the 2025 draft. But again, as we sit here right now, at the time of making this video, that pick has of course been way better because of Carlton's really disappointing season, to the point where, again, at the time of making this video, Hawthorn currently have pick number 6 in the 2025 AFL draft. And I say at the time of making this video because by the time this video comes out, it may have changed. Again, this might be pick 7 or 8 now or something like that. Again, I don't know. Carlton might get a win. Who really knows? So please don't come into my comment section and threaten my whole entire family tree if the pick moves one position, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much, because the goal of this video is kind of explore the options. I want to explore the options of what Hawthorn could do with this insanely good pick that they found themselves now having in 2025. Again, could they trade it? Could they actually go to the draft with it? What could they do? And that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Again, first and foremost, there is a massive report that I really wanted to talk about that has just come out. Something that has been kind of common knowledge now for a little bit, but it was, of course, being reported on Footy on 9 by Tom Morris, saying that Hawthorn is all in on both. Tom Morris on Footy Classified talking about Zach Butters and Harley Reid. Again, we know that Hawthorn are desperate for a star midfielder. They are searching the seas, searching freaking every single continent to try and find an elite inside midfielder, because unfortunately for them, it's been their detriment in, towards the end of the season, where their midfield just hasn't been that great. Again, it was one of the knocks on them in the finals last year, is that Hawthorn didn't have exactly that much of a midfield rotation. Again, while some teams were playing like 9 to 10 midfielders in, towards the end of the season in the finals last year, you had, and that's in the midfield rotation, you had Hawthorn who were kind of only rotating like 5 blokes in that inside midfield. Again, you start off with the main 3, and that means outside of the main 3, they only had 2 other blokes go in there throughout the whole entire game. Again, to be a successful team, as we know, usually you have to have a really good midfield depth and have a lot of variety and a lot of versatility in your midfield. Again, if you look at Richmond's premiership years, they had all kind of blokes run through the inside in their midfield. Again, Trent Cotchin, Dustin Martin, Marlon Pickett, Shane Edwards, Josh Caddy, Dion Prestia, Kane Lambert, even Jack Higgins at one stage was rotating in the inside midfield. And that's just all off the top of my head. So Hawthorn are desperately looking for another inside midfielder, because right now you got Newcomb, you got Warple. They wish they have Dave, but Dave's always injured and carrying a foot injury. They are desperate to try and bring in an elite inside midfielder. Again, you'd obviously have to give up way more than just pick 6 for Zach Butters or Harley Reid. After all, this draft is heavily compromised. In the first top 30 picks, about 14 of them are projected to be academy, and within the first 10 picks, there's supposed to be about 5 projected to be academy, which means that pick 6 could end up being pick 9 or pick 10 very, very quickly. So you'd have to give up a lot more. And Zach Butters, I was pretty confident he was going to be staying at Port Adelaide. But again, there's been a lot of different talk on maybe he does want to, come home and go play for a Melbourne club. Again, Hawthorn have been interested for a bit. Geelong have been interested. Richmond have been interested. The Dogs are interested. Hawthorn would be a great option for Zach Butters, and it would make a lot of sense in there. While Harley Reid, I'm going to rule out because I don't think they're going to get Harley Reid at all. I mean, I still am very confident he's going to re-sign now West Coast on that reported 2-year extension with a 9-year trigger. I mean, that is absolutely insane. How can you deny 11 years? Like, I think that deal will get done at the Eagles. But Zach Butters, yeah, if you went up to Port Adelaide and you said, look, we'll give you pick 6, we'll give you our future first round pick, maybe even their future second, and maybe a player like Henry Hustwaite or someone like that who's not getting a game, maybe he moves over. Again, that would be a great trade for Hawthorn. At the end of the day, that would be like pick 6, next year's 13, next year's like 35, and Henry Hustwaite. Would Port Adelaide do that deal? I don't know. It's not the best, but if Hawthorn could do it, I mean, yeah, they're 100% doing it. Because imagine next year they were able to add Zach Butters and, you know, Will Day to this inside midfield. It would completely revolutionise their midfield and completely change it up. But in terms of if they do decide to go to the draft, who could they take? There's, of course, a lot of options. Again, they would take a midfielder. They would 100% take a midfielder. And there's 3 guys I really want to look at who could be available at this pick. Again, I'll start off with the least likely. Not only do I think he's going to be the least likely available out of these 3, but also the least likely I think Hawthorn would take out of the 3. And that does happen to be Sam Grill. Again, Sam Grill has been compared to Max Holmes and a younger Chris Judd for his insane burst out of the stoppage, burst out of the midfield. Again, extremely quick player who recently just played off the half-back line for Richmond's VFL team and looked really good. He can absolutely rack the ball up. He's got extremely good lateral quickness. But again, he's a 183cm inside midfielder. And he probably doesn't fit what Hawthorn are going for, but I think the other 2 do. Again, Dyson Sharp is the other one. He's a 187cm inside midfielder, much taller, much bigger bodied player than what Sam Grell is. Again, a little bit compared to the younger Patrick Dangerfield in terms of, yes, this guy likes to play inside midfield, but you can actually put him on the wing and as a half-back, and that might be where he starts off his career. Again, he's also got pretty good burst from the stoppage. Again, good in the hips, good at shrugging off players, good strength player who won't be rested as a forward in the AFL. If he was to be rested or play a little bit of a different role, it would be on the wing or, you know, as a half-back. So, again, I think if they were looking for that taller guy, he'd be good. But, and maybe even the happy medium of, like, if they're going to have Will Day as their tall midfielder, they've got their smaller midfielders in Newcomb and whatnot. Maybe this guy's the happy medium of that 187cm. Or if they want to go for the ultimate taller midfielder, there's obviously Ollie Greaves, the 191cm inside midfielder who was actually compared to Josh Smiley, of last year's draft. Again, he is said to be a little bit worse than Smiley or a little bit behind on where Smiley was at this point last year. But again, I believe he actually played with Smiley, if I remember right, and has based off his game a lot on him. Again, a taller inside midfielder who, again, can crash packs, a very good tackling player, I believe. Again, also a player who's not easy to tackle, not easy to stop, can shrug off tackles and just be your ultimate inside mid player, the bull, you could say, the inside mid bull, the taller midfield prospect like a Patrick Cripps as well. I think you would kind of compare him to, and maybe Hawthorn need that. Maybe that's what they're looking for, that more bigger inside bull player. Again, I wonder if that is the direction they're going to go. If they do hit the draft, that's where they will. But if they're going to go through the trade period, which I think they're really going to be trying to do and floating off all ideas right now, Zach Butters would be the really good one for them. The really nice ball accumulator in there. But yeah, I do wonder where they're going to go and what they're going to do. They also may not look at Ollie Greaves in terms of they could see Henry Hustwaite as the future taller midfielder in there. And they've already got him, so maybe they don't need Ollie Greaves. Again, there's going to be a lot of different decisions that Hawthorn are going to make in the 2025 draft. And I'm interested to see where they go and if they do decide to keep the pick, or if they decide to trade it, what's going to be their ultimate move. Again, I'm not exactly too sure, but again, I'd very much like to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. What do you guys think Hawthorn should do with pick 6? Should they try and trade it for a Zach Butters, or should they go to the draft? Again, I'd very much like to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all those AFL content, AFL news, sports content in general. My gaming/movie channel, which will be also getting linked in the description down below as well. And my Instagram. Go check them out. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.